video to explain how we can use the Desmos graphing calculator to help with some of our assignments. There's a problem on this week's assignment where we have to pick out the correct graph when we're given two functions. And you'll notice that these functions have a limited domain. So f of x has a domain from 0 to 9, and g of x has a domain from 4 to 9. And we're supposed to pick out which graph it is. And those domains turn out to be important in determining which picture to choose. So I'm going to show you how we can add those domains on Desmos and basically have it reveal the picture to us. The other thing I do want to point out is that the x and y axis has a particular scale, which we practiced last week in our discussion forum. So I'm going to make sure I add that scale to my graph as well. So the first one I want to graph is 5/3 x squared plus 5/3 x plus 10. 5/3 x squared. I'm going to talk to myself while I do it. Plus 5/3 x. Is that what you guys do when you're working on these problems? And to add in the domain, use curly braces. So right after the graph, I put a curly brace, and the domain for that one was 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 9. I think that's what it was. My memory's not as good as it used to be. Yes, that's true. And we're not seeing much here. Let's fix the graph. It went from like 0 to 10 on the x-axis and from like 0 to 170 on the y-axis. There we go. So there's that piece. Okay? There's that piece. You can see I run from 0 out to 9, and I just see that piece of the parabola. The other graph is linear. It's 11x plus 10, and that goes from 4 to 9. So 11x plus 10, we go from 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to, that goes from 4 to 9. 4 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 9. And then we close our braces, and I see, where's that brace? There we go. So you see this other little piece of the graph. And this is going to allow us to choose the correct choice. And you can see based on the pictures here, the one we're going to want to choose. It's not the letter D or the fourth one here. It's not this one because the blue line goes too far. It's not this one because the red line gets cut off. It's not this one because the red line gets cut off. It's actually this first one here, which is, I would call letter A or choice 1 here. And your problem might look slightly different, but you can use Desmos to help you make that decision. All right? The key here is that these domains are just giving us pieces of the entire function. So this function is a parabola. If we graph the whole thing, it would look like the usual parabola. But because we're only graphing this piece from 0 to 9, it's just this little curve here. And then this is a linear function, but it's just a line segment because we're not graphing the entire domain. And so that's a quick way that you can use Desmos to help you solve that problem. Hoping this helps, and keep the questions coming. If you need help on anything while you're completing your assignment, please let me know. Take care.